Chapter 5 Zombie. It's a cold night outside. The crickets are making lots of noise as usual. Cooper walks across the runway, towards Watchtower 3. He doesn't feel the cold as much. His makeshift armor insulates him a little. He always thought it was a little clunky, moving around like this, but dying from a small bite or a cut in the arm would be very embarrassing. He takes one of the magazines from the right arm of his armor. Star Trek Voyager. It's covered in blood. Nobody knows he kept it. They probably would think he's got soft. Cooper would never admit this, but he feels terribly guilty about Ellis's death. John told him to go with Ellis, not run after the first zombie. If he had been in the barn with him, maybe things would have gone differently. He feels odd about keeping the comic. He should probably give it to Jessica. Yeah, I'll give it to Jessica, he says to himself, just as soon as this dumb checkup is over. He arrives at Watchtower 3. It's the one closest to the main entrance of the base. Next to the tower is a small building where a few of the forward lookout people stay. "Hey jerks," Cooper yells out. "I've got your stupid batteries. Come down here and get them." No response. "Hey, are you deaf? Don't make me climb up there." Cooper hears a noise by the building and sees something shuffling inside quickly. Bastards. They got Watchtower 3. First Ellis and now this. Cooper considers heading back to the main hangar to inform John, but he feels the need to avenge his fallen comrades. "I'm gonna get you, you frickin' monsters." He moves into the building. Cooper moves slowly through the room, his rifle raised, ready to blow the piss out of any zombie that thinks it can get the jump on him. It's very quiet. He hears a few shuffling noises further inside. He moves slowly to try and get the jump on them. As he steps forward, his foot pushes against a small wire that has been set up just above the ground. There's a metallic clunk as the wire triggers something. Cooper is hit in the neck. A crossbow bolt. Some of the scavengers use them so they don't make so much noise outside. How did they get a freaking crossbow bolt? Cooper thinks to himself. The bolt has gone right through his neck. He knows he won't survive this. His back falls against the wall, and he slides down to the ground, shocked that the zombies could lay such an elaborate trap. He pulls the bolt from his neck and tosses it aside, blood gushing out of the hole. It's quiet. Dying this way actually seems quite peaceful. He takes a moment to contemplate the situation. Pretty soon, Cooper will bleed out. When that happens, it won't be long until he gets up and starts walking again. He removes his helmet. If he's going to become one of those things, at least he will make it easy for someone to put a bullet in his head. The last thing he wants is to die just to go on and kill another one of his comrades. Back in the canteen, Jessica is cleaning up for the night. One of her regular customers has been keeping her company. So what's going to happen? If you're pregnant, I mean. Jessica takes a moment to think about it. "Well, Tom, if that happens, I'll do everything I can to keep them safe. They'll grow up knowing that their dad was a hero." "Haha, that's right," Tom says. "Well, you know, we're all here to help if you need anything. Ellis was a great guy." "Yeah, he was," Jessica replies morbidly. Tom observes that she's starting to get lost in her thoughts. He raises his glass. "Well, to Ellis. Don't get up." Jessica raises a glass and takes a drink. "Don't get up." "You don't mind if I use the bathroom before you're done for the night, do you?" Tom asks. "Not at all, Tom," Jessica replies. He leaves Jessica alone, with her thoughts. A scary concept, so she distracts herself by stacking chairs and cleaning tables. After a few minutes pass, she hears loud banging sounds coming from the bathroom. The hell is happening in there, she wonders. Tom bursts out of the door with blood gushing from his throat. The zombies have breached the main hangar. She jumps behind the counter and grabs a pistol which they have there as part of the protocol. She aims it towards the door, waiting for the zombie to come out. A zombie darts out of the door and spots Jessica. She opens fire. The zombie moves from side to side, strafing her attacks. She misses every one. There's a reason why they didn't send her out with the scavenger parties. The floor, however, is freshly mopped, and the zombie slips and falls to the ground. Ha! Before she gets a moment to taunt the zombie, Tom screams from across the room. His eyes are white. He's one of them now. He charges at her, not strafing like the other zombie. Jessica lands a few shots in his chest, but it does little to slow him down. Alice always said that you gotta aim for the head. Jessica focused her fire to aim towards his head, and after a few shots, she lands one directly in Tom's head, neutralizing him. A crashing sound from the other side of the canteen reveals that another zombie has broken into the room with her. She spots him, another one of her regulars. It's ironic, she thinks, that her job is to feed these people, and they're trying to eat her. The zombie from before, now up from the wet ground, lunges over the counter to try and grab her. Jessica points the gun at its head and pulls the trigger. Click. No bullets. Jessica dives for the gap in the wall, where the kitchen staff pass the food to the waiters. She is skinny enough to fit through. Knowing she has little time, she scans the room for a weapon, and she spots one. A frying pan. The zombie bashes down the kitchen door and storms into the room. Jessica slides over the kitchen table to reach the frying pan near the sink. She picks it up. As the zombie approaches, she takes a swing. The pan makes a satisfying thwunk sound as it hits the zombie in the head. It falls to the ground, a nasty mark on its face. It starts to rise from the floor. Before it can get up, Jessica gives it another blow to the head. And another. And another. Its skull cracks open from the barrage of attacks. Its brain is exposed to the air. It won't be getting up after that. The last zombie tries squeezing through the gap that Jessica came through before, but it gets stuck. Perhaps she fed this guy a little too much. Now that he's an easy target, Jessica makes a few powerful swings to his head, killing the creature. Finally, the room seems to be clear for now, but as Jessica starts to catch her breath, the lights cut out. The room goes into complete darkness.